Ever had a guy disappear on you only to pop back up weeks or months later like nothing happened? Yeah, we've all been there. And let's be real, it's confusing, frustrating, and sometimes downright annoying. But here's the thing, when a man comes back after no contact, it's not random. There's a reason, actually. There are several reasons, and today we're breaking it all down. Whether you're wondering if he's genuinely changed or just bored, this video will give you the clarity you need to take control of the situation. So grab a seat, because this one's going to hit different. Before we dive in, I want to hear from you. Have you ever had someone come back after no contact? What was your experience? Did they give you a legit reason, or did they just slide back into your DMs like nothing happened? Drop your stories in the comments below, I'll be reading them. And if you've ever wondered why this happens or what it really means, stick around, because we're about to unpack it all. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe if you're ready to take control of your relationships and understand the psychology behind why men return. Let's get into it. Here are some reasons behind it. Number 1, the power of emotional bonds. Let's face it, men are human too, and they crave emotional connection just as much as anyone else. When you're in a relationship, you create a unique bond that becomes a source of comfort, security, and happiness for them. But here's the thing, sometimes they don't fully appreciate that connection until it's gone. When you initiate no contact, it's like flipping a switch. Suddenly they're forced to confront the silence and emptiness where your presence used to be. That's when it hits them. They miss the way you made them feel, the laughter, the deep conversations, the sense of being understood and valued. It's not just about missing you, it's about missing the emotional safety net you provided. So why do they come back? Because emotions are powerful and they're hard to ignore. When a man realizes he's lost that emotional connection, it triggers a sense of longing and regret. He starts reminiscing about the good times, the way you supported him, and how you made him feel seen and appreciated. And here's the kicker. If you've been thriving during no contact, posting positive updates, focusing on yourself, or just living your best life, it amplifies that feeling of loss. He starts to wonder if he made a mistake by letting you go. That's when he reaches out, hoping to rekindle what he once took for granted. But remember, his return doesn't always mean he's changed, it just means he's feeling the weight of what he lost. The real question is, are you willing to give him another chance, or have you already outgrown what he has to offer? Number 2, the ego's hidden agenda. Let's get brutally honest, when a man's ego is bruised, his comeback is rarely about love. It's about control. Men often assume they're the ones holding the power in a relationship, especially after a breakup. But when you enforce no contact and refuse to chase him, it flips the script. Suddenly, he's not the prize anymore, you are. His ego can't handle that shift. For example, imagine a guy who ends things abruptly, expecting you to beg for another chance. Instead, you delete his number, mute his socials, and start posting stories of you hiking with friends or acing a work project. When he sees you thriving without him, his ego panics. Why isn't she heartbroken? Did I mean nothing? That insecurity drives him to reach out, not because he misses you, but because he needs to prove to himself, and maybe his friends, that he still matters to you. The breadcrumbing trap, how to outsmart it. Here's a real-life scenario. Jake breaks up with Mia, assuming she'll spend weeks texting him "I miss you" messages. Instead, Mia goes silent. 2 weeks later, Jake sends a vague text, "Saw your post about the concert, looked fun." Classic ego move, he's testing the waters to see if she's still hooked. If Mia responds eagerly, his ego gets the validation it craves. But here's the twist. Mia waits a day, then replies, "It was amazing. Hope you're well," and leaves it at that. No drama, no desperation. Jake's ego is now in overdrive. Why isn't she chasing me? And he starts liking her old photos or sending random memes, but Mia doesn't bite. She knows his sudden attention isn't about her, it's about his bruised pride. The lesson: when a man's ego is driving his return, don't play the game. Stay indifferent. If he wants back in your life, make him work for it. Apologies, accountability, and real change. Your silence isn't a punishment, it's a filter for ego-driven intentions. Number 3. They give you the silent treatment. When a narcissist can't manipulate you, they often resort to the silent treatment, a form of emotional punishment designed to make you feel anxious, guilty, and desperate for their attention. This isn't just them ignoring you, it's a calculated tactic to regain control. By withholding communication, they create a void that leaves you questioning what you did wrong and scrambling to fix the situation. For example, if you disagree with them or set a boundary, they might suddenly stop responding to your calls, texts, or even refuse to acknowledge your presence. This leaves you feeling isolated, confused, and even questioning your own worth. But here's the truth: their silence isn't about you, it's about their need for power and control. Let me give you a real-life example. Imagine you're in a relationship with a narcissist and you tell them you need some time to yourself after an argument. Instead of respecting your request, they completely shut down. However, as time passes, he faces shallow connections, emotional unavailability, or even loneliness. He remembers how you prioritized his happiness, supported his dreams, and stood by him during tough times. The absence of your care forces him to acknowledge that what he had with you wasn't ordinary, it was rare. That's when he comes back, hoping to reclaim the priority he once ignored. But the real question is, will you still be available, or will you have moved on to someone who truly values you from the start? Number 4. They smear your reputation. When a narcissist can't manipulate you, they often resort to one of their dirtiest tactics: smearing your reputation. This is a deliberate attempt to control how others see you, especially if you've started standing up to them or setting boundaries. They'll spread rumors, twist stories, or paint you as the bad guy to isolate you and turn people against you. For example, if you end a toxic relationship with a narcissist, they might tell mutual friends they were so controlling and abusive, or I was the one who tried to make it work, but they just didn't care. This isn't just about venting, it's a calculated move to damage your credibility and ensure they remain in control of the narrative. The goal is to make you feel alone and powerless, so you're more likely to come back to them. Here's a real-life scenario. Imagine you have a narcissistic boss who feels threatened because you're excelling at work. When you stand up to their unreasonable demands, they start spreading rumors about you to other colleagues, saying things like they're so difficult to work with, or they're always trying to undermine me. They might even take credit for your ideas while blaming you for their mistakes. He spends time with new people, but eventually, those surface-level interactions leave him feeling empty. The deep conversations, emotional connection, and care he once received from you are missing. When boredom strikes, especially during nights when he has no one to talk to, or moments when he sees others in happy relationships, he starts reminiscing. That's when you get the "Hey, how have you been?" message. But be careful, his return might not be about love or regret. It could simply be about escaping his loneliness. Number 5. They hoover you back in. Just when you think you're free from a narcissist, they often pull you back in with a tactic called hovering. Named after the vacuum cleaner, hovering is their way of sucking you back into their web of control. They might suddenly reappear with apologies, promises to change, or grand romantic gestures. For example, after weeks of silence, they might send you a heartfelt message like, "I've realized how much I've hurt you, and I'm so sorry. I've changed, and I want to make things right." They might even show up at your door with flowers or gifts, acting like the perfect partner you always wanted. But here's the truth: this isn't about love or change, it's about regaining control. They're testing the waters to see if you're still vulnerable to their manipulation. Let me give you a real-life example. Imagine you've finally ended a toxic relationship with a narcissist. You've started healing and moving on, but then they suddenly reach out, saying, "I can't live without you. You're the only one who understands me." They might even use guilt, saying, "I've been so lost without you. I don't know how to go on." This experience makes him believe he's learned his lesson and that he's ready to be the partner you deserved all along. He might reach out with promises of being different this time, more attentive, considerate, and committed. But often this so-called change is superficial. It's easy to make promises when the loneliness bites, but sustaining that change when real-life challenges arise is another story. Before taking him back, it's essential to see if his actions align with his words or if he's just temporarily motivated by guilt or nostalgia. What should you do when he comes back? 1. Don't jump back in immediately. Just because he's back doesn't mean you have to take him back. Take your time to assess his intentions. Is he here for you, or is he just looking for an ego boost? 2. Set boundaries. If you decide to give things another shot, set clear boundaries. Let him know what you will and won't tolerate. A man who truly values you will respect your boundaries. 3. Focus on your worth. Remember, you're the prize. If he's coming back, it's because he knows what he lost. Don't settle for less than you deserve. You've already proven you can thrive without him, don't forget that. At the end of the day, when a man comes back after no contact, it's a test of your strength and self-worth. It's not about whether he's changed, it's about whether you've grown enough to know what you deserve. So, the next time someone from your past reappears, ask yourself, is this what I truly want, or am I settling for crumbs when I deserve the whole cake? Now I want to hear from you. Have you ever had someone come back after no contact? What did you do? Share your stories in the comments below. Let's support each other and learn from these experiences. And if you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more real talk about relationships and self-growth. Remember, you're in control of your happiness. See you in the next video.